Okay.
JD Vance is in Murderapolis.
Able to do their jobs without being harassed, without being doxxed, and sometimes without being assaulted. That's totally unacceptable. And that's one of the things that I want to send a message to is, yes, come out and protest me, protest our immigration policy, but do it peacefully. If you assault a law enforcement officer, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice is going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Shut up.
I want to show some support for these guys who, frankly, are operating in a very, very tough environment. I heard a lot of stories today about that I think drives home just how chaotic the environment on the ground here has already gotten. For example, did you know that within the last, I think, week or so, maybe even more recently than that, you had a couple of ICE officers who were off duty,
They got
who had been
boo-boos?
doxxed online, who were sitting and having a meal at a restaurant in Minneapolis when a bunch of agitators showed up, locked the door, made them feel like they were in danger for their lives, and then, of course, it was federal law enforcement officers who had to come up, lower the temperature on the situation, and actually get those two off-duty officers to
the
avoid safety.
Gestapo's fifis
Now
were
imagine
hurt.
if
The
your
Gestapo's
life-
fifis
Whoa!
were hurt.
He's so base.
perspective on law enforcement if you can't even go to a
All
restaurant
right, now do Renee good.
without some
How
agitators
dare you hurt my feelings, my feelings. I got a boo-boo. Get the f out of here, man.
of very, frankly,
That's
far
crazy.
left people,
That's crazy.
but also by some of the state and local law enforcement officials who could do a much better job in cooperating and working. And by the way,
What the fuck are you talking about, Karasu? This is why you get banned from chats, dude. What the fuck are you? Who is anybody speaking to Karasu right now? Ultimate. Why? Karasu, you need to get Irish citizenship, then retire to Spain. Or why the fuck are you talking to him? What are you doing acknowledging him?
I'm not talking about the cops who these guys told me on the
We
ground.
need to be making him feel like he's a crazy person. Everybody needs to be ignoring Karasu. He needs to feel like he's literally a ghost. Okay? We need to stop addressing him.
The cops are very sympathetic to what they're
Karasu, you need to die.
dealing with.
What the fuck's going on here? With this guy?
No, it's unfortunate. Fuck it. Ultimate brought him up on that. I checked it. He was replying to Ultimate. He was talking about that would be pretty sweet. Some of my family thought of moving to Spain, but the Spanish government could take your house anytime they want. They just have the right. It's time. That's just Jimbo with the bands. Aw, come on, man. Creeper. Oh,
Elected law
no.
enforcement
What is happening?
officials who could do a lot better job in making their lives a little bit easier, and in the process, they would make the lives of all Minneapolis residents easier, and that's what we want. We want to be able to enforce the immigration laws on the one hand, while on the other hand, we want to make sure that people in Minneapolis are able to go about their day. And I want to say just one last point on this. So I heard from a business leader today who told me a very tough story, and I think so much of what's gone wrong in Minneapolis is people not trying to understand the perspective of somebody else. Try to understand what somebody else is experiencing, whether they're a law enforcement officer or anybody in the community here in Minneapolis.
Boom.
So they told me a story about this manufacturing
story alert.
facility
Fake story alert.
where an illegal
Fake story
immigrant
alert
was being
from
arrested.
sympathetic
And
business
as
owner, small business
went
owner.
into the manufacturing facility, all of a sudden, an illegal immigrant shows up. They don't know it's
Hey, by the way, he loves his dog. He loves it when his dog moves. He notices every time, but he loves it now instead of getting mad. He's never abused his dog or shocked it or anything. He notices instantly the second his dog gets up, but it's because he loves it so much. What did you say? He noticed the second that his dog got up, the literal millisecond bro moved even an inch, but he loves it. He's just so happy that his dog is moving around. A slice of the massive silver winnings for Wurzy. Boom! $6.23. Not that massive, feels like, but all right. I'm sure.
illegal immigrant, and then a bunch of ICE officers descend.
What's happening?
Now, these people just want to go to
I would
work.
shock the fuck out of my dog if it moved. Yeah, me too, dude. No, I'm kidding. No, Edgar beats the shit out of me. Dude, it went back. It went back as well. Did you notice that? He's got some new special training.
Business owner, small business
Went
owner.
into the manufacturing
The
facility.
dog moves. He instantly notices.
All of a sudden, an illegal immigrant shows up. They don't know it's an illegal immigrant, and then a bunch of ICE officers descend.
The dog goes back.
Now, these people just want to go to work. They want to go to work safely, and now all of a sudden, there's a major law enforcement operation happening
You wanna hang out?
right outside their place.
Bro, he gets so pressed every time, but he knows he has to like overcompensate now and pretend like he's like, oh, how'd you going, baby? But he's like death staring at it.
Business. Now, from one perspective,
get enough energy
I certainly
out there,
understand why a business leader or
He
why
loves that dog. He loves that dog, and that dog loves just laying right there, perfectly framed in the background.
employee would say, whoa, what's going on? It's a little scary, no matter your position in life, if a bunch of cop cars show up and they're arresting somebody. Now, the additional context is that we know that people online have been encouraging illegal immigrants that one way they can evade arrest is by showing up at a legitimate place.
Adjust the collar. That's crazy.
To business, making it impossible for these guys to actually enforce our immigration laws. So while I can understand...
Do you think bro's still doing it? Do you think bro just got more slick with it?
The perspective of somebody who doesn't want to see an arrest happen at their place of work, I can also understand the perspective of our immigration enforcement officers who have to do their job and can't allow a heckler's veto over our immigration enforcement.
True.
And so much of what's gone wrong is the failure to do that. And here's the point.
Why are you shoving your dog? Sorry, not to be like gay or anything, but like it's a big dog. Its hips aren't too good. Don't be pushing your dog around like that.
We can do a good job of enforcing our immigration laws without the chaos, but it actually requires the cooperation of state and local officials. If you look at blue cities and blue states, red cities and red states, you go to Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee. You go to the state of Texas, obviously a very red state, or the state of Tennessee, a very red state, but you've got blue cities within those states. You do not have this level of chaos.
I would eat that dog because I'm Japanese. That's awesome, dude. I love that.
The reason why things...
Are you going to cut off Bryn's nose because she's Korean and put it in a pit? Are you going to follow that tradition, Jimbo, do you think? Are you going to cut her nose off like you cut her hair off? I saw another picture. That's so fucked up. I really, like, I feel so bad for Bryn, the fact that Jimbo keeps fucking shaving her head while she's asleep. Like, I know people say that that's based and it's like a funny prank. I've seen a new picture. He must have shaved her head again. It's like crazy. I just saw it when I was taking a piss.
Have gotten so out of hand is because
she's got really big ears.
Failure of cooperation between the...
Did you see that? Did anybody see this? It's a fucked up image. It's really fucked up with the things that Jimbo does to her. And I really disavow it. Where is it? Here it is. Look at this. This is crazy. This is before Jimbo, before Jimbo's cruel prank. After Jimbo's cruel prank. He shaved her doggy ears too. Her doggy ears are real. She usually has these, but this is what they look like when they're hairless. That's so insane, dude. He shaved her entire fucking head and her ears as a cruel bit, a cruel joke. Wait a second. Wait.
State and local authorities and what these guys are trying to do. We have a ton of resources, a ton of ICE agents in this city right now that I would rather us not have. I'd love to send those guys home. They're not even doing targeted immigration enforcement. They are trying to protect ICE officers who are doing immigration enforcement because when
holy shit, dude, Jimbo literally just fucking cast a spell on me. Dude, come on, you're telling me that's a coincidence? Jimbo totally just DM'd Veda to put a fucking hex on me and he made me sick. He'd literally just... You guys witnessed that. I have coronavirus now. He just infected me with coronavirus with a fucking spell. He called that Veda bastard to make me sneeze. Jimbo, I'm sorry. It's based, actually, when you shave her head. It's based. Can you take the hex off of me? I don't want long COVID. Jimbo, please? The Ebola!
Bounds them. And these guys call 911.
I'm
the
sorry.
local officials, the local cops have been told to stand down.
I'm sorry!
You're, by the way, this is literally reverse Tim Walz, okay? This is part of the reason why I think JD Vance sucks and will never make it, okay? Because he's far too liberal coded, okay? The way he tries to, like, justify this through legal language and tries to reach out to the hearts and minds of, like, liberals, like, no, man, you can't do fascist standpoint theory from the perspective of the Gestapo.
Whoa.
Okay.
You're Hitler, so stop trying to act like you aren't. You're too libtard coded. Stop trying to justify being Adolf freaking Hitler, dude.
You're doing
awesome sauce.
doing our bodies in spaces. Have you realized how toxic your behavior is when you got ICE agents that are trying to conduct door knocking operations in your neighborhood? Like, that's so, stop, just leave, just f off and leave.
The temperature and lower the chaos. That's a problem. Here's another example.
Does JD Vance know jester maxing is the new meta? He should be having fun instead of trying to do the stiff arm move. He should be doing jester maxing, just clowning and having a good time.
We have a criminal migrant who is a sex offender. And let's say that we've got to go and arrest that person who, Democrat or Republican, wants a...
Cops. That's who arrest that person, not
Boom.
ICE. There is already a function of law enforcement, okay? If there is a sex offender, and by the way, wouldn't be talking about sex offenders if I was JD Vance. Let's be real. Donald Trump is the president right now.
Arrest
but
Donald Trump.
And he is protecting all of the elite pedophiles. But having said that, if there's a sex offender that must be arrested, cops do that, okay? Not ICE. The entire point of ICE is not to actually arrest anybody, really, is to handle paperwork violations, okay?
And try to find where this criminal sex offender is today. The local authorities have been told, do not cooperate. So these guys are trying to go out and enforce the law. They're trying to arrest sex offenders, but they're trying to do it in an environment where local officials have been told, do not help them, do not provide intelligence about where these sex offenders might be. This is disgraceful. And there are a lot of things that all of us could do better to lower the temperature, but the number one thing that I learned today is that the best way to facilitate reasonable enforcement of the law, but also to lower the chaos in Minneapolis, would be for state and local officials to cooperate. Now, I will say, on one final positive note, I actually think that there's some hope, some reason to think that there's going to be better cooperation in the weeks and months to come. I think that because I've talked to some of the local officials here. I think there are reasons to believe that these people are going to step up and actually ask the cops to protect our ICE officers when they're being assaulted, who are going to ask the local courts to cooperate with getting criminal sex offenders out of our community. That's a good thing. That's the good news, and that's something I'm going to work on when I get back to Washington. But please, if you're a local official, if you're the mayor of this town, if you have any influence over those people, just tell them to cooperate. Because we could have immigration enforcement operate as smoothly and without the chaos that we see in Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee, or even rural parts of the state of Minnesota. All we need is a little cooperation. I guarantee you, we're going to do the best to be professional, to respect people's rights, to...
What a dildo, LOL. Just comply after you shoot a lady in the head. Sorry, let's read some of these. They always use sex offenders to get public on their side to kidnap people, but never want to talk about the sex offenders being held accountable when it comes to the Epstein files. Let's go. Melanin for the sun. Just comply, please. So comply or die. Get fucked. Does this moron think he's effective? He's begging them to cooperate.
Not do anything that we don't have to do in order to enforce immigration laws, but it would make our lives a lot easier.
37-year-old lady in the face.
She was white.
And it would make Minneapolis much less chaotic if we had a little bit of cooperation from the state and local officials. With that, I'll shut up and take some questions. Thank you, guys.
Vice President Vance, a local school district here is alleging ICE agents detaining a...
Bro, they're putting him on Kamala alert.
I wish someone would gamer check him. You know, why does nobody ever gamer check at one of these? Like, he said he used to play Halo 3. Like, what if we asked him a Halo 3 question? I feel like that would actually fuck with him a lot, you know? Because bro has not played Halo. Bro's not a real gamer like me.
By the way, he's doing janitorial duties right now. This is Trump is literally making him oversee the least popular aspects of this admin. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind
just as Joe Biden gave the border czar duty to Kamala Harris, which was like the least popular position you could be in if you're, you know, working in a Democratic administration. The vice presidential job here is very important. If you think JD Vance is going to be the leader of this movement when you're done because you ate too many aspirins or because you got too tired to be president and you know, you want to retire in I don't know, Saudi Arabia or whatever. Like, if you think JD Vance is going to be continuing the movement, you shouldn't be making him do this. This is cleanup.
What are you talking about, Cross? Crazy dessert religion?
Alien father, the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let
a talking about Mormons?
5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest?
do that.
An illegal alien in the United States of America if the argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated the law.
Kidnap a kid? What, bro? Give their parent back. Who is this even for? Leave, bro. Oh, wow. Not deport a 5-year-old. Wow, benevolent arrest. What the fuck?
Because they have...
Bro, the seething in his chat is always so fucking worth it. He is here to make us comply with the kidnapping of children. Call CPS.
Children.
Fucking evil. Holy fucking shit. Not that, JD. Dumbass. What?
Every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement.
He's literally saying the 5-year-old was detained as bait to draw out the father, and that's good.
No, that's not what he's saying, you fucking retard.
Good. What are we supposed to do? Not do that? Yeah, the answer is yes, you
into personally where I say,
you
wait
fucking asshole.
Second. We don't want ICE arresting American citizens. They're supposed to be enforcing the immigration laws against illegal aliens. So then I look into it and I find out that the American citizen who was arrested took a swing at an ICE officer. You can't have that happen. And of course they have to defend themselves. And of course they have the right to detain somebody who assaults a law enforcement officer. Now, this is my point. Do we want these things to happen? Do we want these arrests to be so chaotic? No, we don't. These guys want it least of all, but if we had a little cooperation from local and from local and state officials, I think the chaos would go way down in this community.
President!
Go ahead.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to suggest...
Yeah, well, you can go next.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you pointed it
No,
out.
that's fine. I'll take both.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to... After the Renee Good shooting, the administration...
Oh my god, bro, just... Today, Junior!
The administration seemed to suggest that ICE officers enjoyed near complete immunity, but today you told the Washington Examiner that when appropriate, the administration might take disciplinary actions against ICE agents. So is that a change of opinion, and if so, why the change in tone?
No, I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said that officers who engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd. What I did say is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that is typically something that federal officials would look into. We don't want these guys to have kangaroo courts. We want them to actually have real due process, real investigation, because again, sometimes they're accused of wrongdoing, and it turns out when you learn the context, they didn't actually do anything wrong. But of course we're going to investigate these things. Of course we're investigating the Renee Good shooting, but we're investigating them in a way that respects people's rights and that ensures that if somebody did something wrong, yes, they're going to face disciplinary action, but we're not going to judge them in the court of public opinion. I've spoken at length on this particular case. I think that Renee Good's death is a tragedy. I also think that she rammed an ICE officer with her car. So the tragedy here is multi-layered. The tragedy is there was a misunderstanding. The tragedy is that Renee Good lost her life. The tragedy is that you have ICE officers who are going into communities where they're worried that if they call 911, no one's going to come to help them. That is what produces.
Yeah, those are varying degrees of different tragedies. It's like saying, well, you know, the Holocaust was a tragedy. Also, I stubbed my toe the other day while I was going to kill someone. Like, those are not comparable levels, okay? One is
it's the Holocaust, basically, but this time it's against Mexicans. And instead of killing, well, I guess maybe that part stays the same.
unlawful murder of an American citizen. The other is ICE getting scared when they're engaging in unlawful actions.
I'm very excited to speak there. I want to talk about local law enforcement, but you know, I mean, look, I am, as a child, I saw people in my family get arrested. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking, it's chaotic, it's traumatic for the kids. I can recognize that, and I can recognize that we got to support these kids, while on the other hand saying that just because you're a parent doesn't mean that you get complete immunity from law enforcement. And I think we have to hold both of those thoughts in our head at the same time. We've got to be sympathetic to the kids who are caught up in some of these enforcement actions. We've also got to say we have to enforce the law without bias, with fairness, but we've got to enforce the law.
JD Vance said,
Mr. Vice President!
JD Vance said, listen, I'm an adult, but I was once a child too. And as a former child, I think it's okay to detain.
This is, dude, Hasan is like so fucking retarded. It's crazy. Like, bro, you just like straight up suck at A-logging. Even JD Vance, who is like an oralist retard, total plant. I was once a child, therefore arresting children. Dude, did you listen to anything that bro said at all? You just can't actually address any of the points that JD Vance is making. You're just sitting there seething the entire time. I thought you were an intellectual. You have your glasses on and everything. I thought you were a fucking intellectual, dude. What's going on? Why don't you debate him?
Children right now to lure out their fathers and lure out whoever else you want to lure out in an effort to detain all of them and deport them.
St. Cloud.
Yeah.
The incident, the mayor said that ICE did not communicate with them that they were in the city for a major operation. The police
Sorry,
chief did not know
5-year-old
about the
baby,
operation at
you
the
broke
time.
the law.
Could you talk a little bit about proactive communication with local law enforcement?
5-year-old baby.
Yeah, it's one of the takeaways. I've talked with these guys before we came on the stage, but during our roundtable and some of the other conversations we've had, communication, we absolutely want to ensure there's good communication between federal officials
The oh-so
and state and
moral
local
Hasan.
officials, and I'm sure that we can do better on that. We absolutely want to make sure that we
This
are
is my favorite.
communicating,
Okay,
but
where
that also
you know
requires
woke is
us to be on the
back
street, and that's-
because now these guys have turned back to the, oh, you're just virtue signaling. Like, we've gotten back to 2016 era idiotic conversations where it's like, I recognize that you're actually signaling that you're a moral person and that my side is actually immoral in this conversation. So instead of entertaining the notion that maybe my side is doing something unimaginably wrong, I'm just gonna turn around and say,
Yeah, I are, lol. Haha.
you're such a bitch, dude. You're such a bitch for thinking that ICE agents shouldn't fucking detain little babies, 5-year-old babies, in an effort to lure out a bunch of family members so they can do a dragnet operation in a house. I know. Imagine, close your eyes and imagine China doing that or something, okay? And then you can maybe have a consistent position on it. Idiot. These are the same people that go, oh, if our state is doing it, then
China does that. China has fucking concentration camps, for real, though. What? Dog, what? Imagine a scenario where China is arresting people for their race, religion, or creed and throwing them into re-education camps. I know it's far-fetched. Bro.
you know, then it's actually good. Like, think about it, dude. Conservatives literally will be like, oh, what about the Uyghur Muslims? And meanwhile, we're doing like Xinjiang we're doing Xinjiang in fucking broad daylight in America in your backyard, and you're like, nah, it's awesome.
We're just sending them to a different country, dog, okay?
How much is this tactic being used?
Yeah, so I saw that story, and the story is like so much that I read in the mainstream media, it's missing a whole lot of context, and when you appreciate the context, it makes sense. No one is saying, I mean, look, there are exceptions. For example, a crazy exception, if somebody is fired at from inside a house, they don't need a warrant to go inside that person's house. There are very narrow exceptions to the warrant requirement where law enforcement officers don't need a...
Yeah, serving someone paperwork is not a justification to violate the Fourth Amendment. It's not the equivalent of being shot
Fourth
at.
Amendment.
Yeah, no
is proposed in the Department of Justice is that we can get administrative warrants to enforce administrative immigration law. Now, it's possible, I guess, that the courts will say no, and of course, if the courts say no, we would follow that law, but nobody is talking about doing immigration enforcement without a warrant. We're talking about different types of warrants that exist in our system.
Yes.
Typically, what happens...
An administrative warrant is nothing. It's nothing. It's like a McDonald's manager, okay?
Whoa.
What the f do you mean? That doesn't mean anything. It's not a valid warrant to actually go into someone's home. And everyone knows this. You went to law school. You were a JAG lawyer. You know that it's not legal. Shut the f
Never
up.
going to enter somebody's house without some kind of a warrant, unless, of course, somebody's firing on an officer or they have to do something in order to protect themselves.
Follow up on that. Do you believe that you can forcibly enter with an administrative warrant, or would that be a violation of the Fourth Amendment?
Well, our understanding is that you can enforce the immigration laws of the country under an administrative order if you have an administrative warrant. That's
literally what Hasan is arguing to happen to kids of ICE targets. Based spoilers for The Shining.
Yeah, true. If you do anything else, you're evil. You should just free the dad. You should just free him. Free them. Don't enforce the immigration law. Let them live here. Let them stay in the country. Leave the kid behind. Fuck him. I always thought it was bullshit that he didn't kill the wife. Like, he didn't even do anything. He just went a little bit crazy. You know? He didn't even get anybody. I always felt like it was a bit of an anticlimax. Dude said bit of a spoiler. This is the entire ending. And the ending reveal. I don't care. So what does this mean in the ending? Is he's a ghost? How does that work? It's haunted and these are all people who died here? What the fuck does this even mean? He is the hotel? He isn't. He's a dude with a wife and kid who moved here. He's a hotel with a wife who had sex with his wife and made a kid. I know he's the hotel or whatever, but how does that make sense? The hotel fucks? He died and was reincarnated as the hotel. I need Candace Owens to explain this time traveling bullshit to me, dude. I don't fucking get it. All right, I never had fucking streetlights flicker when I was walking around as a kid.
What we think. That's our understanding of the law. That's our best faith attempt to understand the law.
God, he's trying. Again, this is something, dude. This is what I mean. Just say, of course we're gonna do it. Like Trump would be like, of course we're gonna do it. What the fuck are you gonna say? Due process is too difficult to follow.
It's done through the
Donald Trump would have just said, "Hey, I'm Adolf Hitler. I'm gonna fucking kill every brown person." That's so true, Hasan.
Administrative law system. We're gonna continue that practice.
Bro's an intellectual, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but Hasan has rebranded and he's an intellectual now. Okay, he reads the Imperial. He's pretty smart.
Not a legal gray area, guys. JD Vance knows it's not a legal gray area. He's making it seem like it's a legal gray area. It's not. It is a clear-cut violation of the constitutional protections afforded to every single person on U.S. soil, whether documented, undocumented, whether natural-born U.S. citizen or naturalized U.S. citizen or not. This is a matter of constitutional law. He knows that it is illegal. He knows.
It's
He's
illegal.
Like, oh, well, you know,
the founding fathers would never want the immigration enforcement to break into somebody's house and find all the billions of Mexicans that were let into the country. They would never stand for that. That goes against the foundational principles of America.
Signed a piece of paper that said I'm the best boy, so obviously you have to follow through on that piece of paper that I signed on my own. Get the fuck out of here.
The federal government to use the military for local law enforcement operations. Right now, we don't think that we need that. Now, the president could change his mind. Of course, things could get worse. But right now, we think that federal law enforcement officers can do the job of federal law enforcement. Now, what I do worry about, again, is if the chaos gets worse, if more and more ICE agents start getting assaulted, if other law enforcement officers start getting assaulted, that would be a real problem. But again, we have so much federal law enforcement resources here right now. We have so many people here that we do not want to have here. I do not want so many ICE officers in Minneapolis right now. I mean, good Lord, it's really, really freaking cold outside. But they're here not even to enforce immigration laws, but to protect the people from the rioters. That's an absurd state of affairs, and we wouldn't need it if we had a little bit more cooperation from the Minneapolis Police Department. Again, the Minneapolis Police Department, my understanding is that the actual beat cops on the ground, they would love to help out, but they're being told by somebody, I don't know if it's Mayor Frey, they're being told by somebody not to cooperate at all. What kind of a person tells their local police don't protect somebody if they're being assaulted by a rioter? It's crazy, and it's got to stop. Yes.
Earlier this week, local law enforcement accused federal agents of racial profiling. Why are there so many U.S. citizens being caught up in this operation?
Well, I think your question assumes something that's not necessarily in evidence, which is that when there are American citizens who have been caught up in some of these enforcement operations, very often it is people who have assaulted a law enforcement officer. They're not being arrested. because they violated the immigration laws. They're being arrested because they punched a federal law enforcement officer. That is a totally reasonable thing. Now, to the accusation of racial profiling, look, it's something that we take very seriously. We will take accusations of racial profiling back to Washington. We'll certainly look into them as they come up.
The accusation came from cops. Okay.
Whoa.
I feel like they know racial profiling when they see it.
Because cops are
it's
racist.
Like getting
hey,
yelled
dude,
at
the racists are saying you're being a bit too freaking racist.
By like the legion of pedophiles for engaging in pedophilia, okay? Like this is the thing that they do, all right, big dog? When a off-duty cop says, hey, I'm being racially profiled, I'm gonna take that seriously because they know from their own day-to-day experiences what racial profiling looks like because they're the kings of racial profiling, okay?
Then the local officials say, oh my God, these guys are doing widespread targeted enforcement operations when in reality, we would love to just go to one house. The local officials won't.
Also, we've seen the videos where like the most Hispanic man wearing a mask is talking to another Hispanic American being like, where are your papers? And the guy goes, why are you asking me that? And the dude goes, because you have a accent. I'm sorry.
Is that a concern?
We've seen the videos. We know they're doing racial profiling. The Supreme Court actually defended that racial profiling.
Officers are being targeted, and they described it as, quote, civil rights violations in our streets.
So I saw one story about this and one local police officer who said this. And look, certainly is it a concern? Absolutely. The first thing we have to figure out is whether it happened or not. And then if it happened, whether there is a good explanation or a bad explanation. And of course, if somebody violated the law, if somebody racially profiled, if somebody...
I think this is the gayest shit ever. Dude, this is like pre-2016. Dude, fucking, I hate JD Vance so much. It's crazy that people glaze him. You know, like, Hasan is right in the fact, I feel like I've been talking about this a lot after the Andrew Tate cucking, but it's like, you need to, like, reject the premise, okay? Like, you are talking to a room of, like, totally partisan radical journalists from, like, failing news stations in the legacy media right now, okay? They made up half of the stories that they're bringing to you. You know, like, we are speaking to the fake news, and we're, like, pretending like the shit that they say actually matters, okay? We need to like put them in their place. We need to reject the framing. We need to like break free from the matrix and have a moment where we go, okay, well, you guys are fake news partisans, okay? You guys are like propagandists. You probably wrote that fucking story of, about racial profiling or whatever. You probably wrote that story about civil liberties being fucking denied. Who the fuck gives a shit, okay? Anyway,
violated the rights of one of our fellow citizens. That is something we will take very seriously. What I also would say is that many of the most viral stories of the past couple of weeks have turned out to be, at best, partially true. So we want to try people based on reality, based on the truth, based on context. We're not going to prejudge people just because of viral social media story that turned out to be half false.
President, a quick question about the roundtable you just had. I presume that happened. Did you invite anybody with an opposing point of view to get an idea of why people are upset here? And just as a quick follow-up, have you reached out to Governor Walz at all in an attempt to turn down the temperature?
So I haven't talked to Governor Walz on this particular trip. A number of members of our administration, I believe our chief of staff, spoke to the governor and has been in constant contact with his staff over the past week. We've been in my office in constant contact with people here on the ground in Minneapolis. There were certainly people at our roundtable with opposing views, and look, I don't even know, whether it's public, but yes, we met with people with opposing views here at the roundtable. I wanted to get a perspective from everybody, but also, of course, offer my opinion that with a little bit more cooperation, we can lower the chaos. We're going to keep on doing that. If Governor Walz wants to call me, we'll absolutely continue talking. I will say that my sense of this situation, having talked to these guys for a long time, is this is primarily a law enforcement issue. This is the Attorney General. This is the local mayor. This is all of the organs of local.
It's pretty crazy that he's saying this. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice has already launched false cases on every single local politician. Like they are doing lawfare on the one hand and doing like illegal domination.
Illegal domination
with a federal agency that's completely out of control on the other hand.
Illegal domination.
Well, right now we're focused on Minneapolis because that's where we have the highest concentration of people who have violated our immigration laws, and that's also, frankly, where where we see the most assault of our law enforcement officers. I mean, our plan is very simple. If you assault a federal law enforcement officer, we're going to do everything that we can to put you in prison. It's very simple. And most of these protesters, as much as I may disagree with their politics, most of them have been
you're right.
peaceful.
This is literally the Reddit moderator, but with more hair. Actually, if you hurt our ICE agents' feelings, we will kill you.
Respect people's rights. Respect people's rights to worship. Respect people's rights to do their job without being assaulted. If you follow that basic principle, the Trump administration does everything that we can to protect your rights. But if you go after somebody, if you assault somebody, if you make a 9-year-old girl cry because you walked into her church and harassed her, we're going to go after you with every single tool that we have.
You just defended a cop. You just defended the ICE agents.
Whoa!
Detaining a 5-year-old to kidnap a bunch of other people. What are we talking about? Oh, I'm not.
You made that up, but you weren't listening.
9-year-old was crying in a church. Bro, shut the f up.
Oh,
Y'all literally do ICE raids on churches. You arrest pastors. What the f are you saying? Bro, they're doing ICE raids on schools. They're tear gassing children, and then they turn around and go, a 9-year-old's feelings were hurt. A 9-year-old's feelings were hurt when people were protesting a ICE field office guy who also happens to be a pastor. Suck my dick. You're out of your dang mind, brother.
Tear gassing children, raiding schools, slaughtering them, holocausting.
And we would like federal and local, state and local officials to meet us halfway.
That they're not perceiving it correctly. Are you saying that they're not seeing that it's the tactics or the presence of the officers that are?
Look, I'm sure that people are seeing a lot of things that would make any member of our national community feel very upset. But I also think that if you understand this in context, this is the inevitable consequence of a state and local government that have decided that they're not going to cooperate with immigration enforcement at all. In fact, they're going to aggressively not cooperate. So here's a basic illustration of this. If you are an ICE officer and you have to arrest a person who's committed assault and is also an illegal alien, but the state and local officials won't help you identify that person, many of the things that people in Minneapolis are seeing that give them pause, that frustrate them, that worry them, that make them feel like things are too chaotic, many of these things are coming from the fact that there's no cooperation.
I think his style is so insufferable. I can't get over it. It's always like he's trying to say Heil Hitler in the nerdiest, most like liberal coded way possible, and I can't stand it. Like, there are different types of villains in this administration. Like, Stephen Miller is just straight up trying to do like Adolf Hitler speeches, but he's such a wormy little nerd that he's like,
basically they're all Nazis, but they're different types of Hitler Nazis. We're dealing with Trump is Adolf Hitler too, Orange Cheeto Hitler. This guy is Nerd Hitler, libtard Nerd Hitler. Stephen Miller is Jewish Hitler. It's so real, dude. I never thought about it like that.
And we must secure a meaningful existence for our white children. That's right. And like JD Vance does something even worse.
Stephen Miller is Jewish.
Than that, in my opinion. Like, if Stephen Miller is like the soy Reich, JD Vance is like, has adopted the language of the worst academic liberalism while trying to justify heinous crimes against humanity. Everything is faillennial speak. Everything he does is like
water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague unto our houses. He did? No, but are we just gonna wait around until he does?
That's so real. That's literally so fucking real, dude.
Actually, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Are we just gonna wait around until he does?
But why have you not been able to speak to them directly? Have they not been willing to do so?
Well, look, I have spoken to some of the people in Minnesota directly. I spoke to some of them today. I've spoke to others in the past. And again, our staff has been in very direct contact with pretty much every official with any influence or any power in Minneapolis. But
they should have fucking arrested Walls. They should. Taco, dude.
We're not trying to send a political
message. They should have fucking arrested Walls. They should have gone in. They should have gone in and gotten him like Maduro.
We're trying to enforce the law.
Like, guys, we have to do this. We have to kill you. We have to go door to door and demand your papers. Actually, have you heard of Law and Order? Like, that's what he's doing.
Across the United States of America.
Have you heard of Law and Order? SVU?
been a very unique, very Minneapolis-specific
Great
reaction
show.
to our enforcement of federal immigration laws. What I'm trying to do here today
Unfortunately,
is
this
understand why
works
that
on
is.
conservative-leaning
What is
liberals.
it
They would
about
just really, they
Minneapolis
wouldn't
that
really
has
care about
so
immigration in the
chaotic?
past, but now
What are
they're
the
saying shit like maybe these
specific types
illegals
of
are a drain
cooperation
on
we
us.
need?
No,
Look, I don't need Tim Walz
you're
or Jacob
so
Frey or
wrong.
anybody else to come out and
That
say
is literally
that they,
not reading
The CNN poll says that everybody hates this.
room at all. No,
The CNN poll says that everybody fucking hates this, okay?
conservative-leaning liberals are way more horrified at the prospect of the federal government doing this kind of like genuine domestic occupation. Are you kidding me? No,
Domestic occupation.
polls do not show that reality at all, with the exception
CNN polls
of the most psychopathic coalition that you have ever seen in this god country, Republicans, of course. With the exception of Republicans, ICE's approval ratings are underwater with everyone. Independents are saying F ICE. Democrats are saying F ICE. The only people that are saying we love ICE is like 58% of Republicans, which is kind of low, honestly, even for Republicans in general. So like, no, most people are looking at the situation and seeing the horror that
who's polling there? Polling USA. I have never been asked for a poll. Never once in my life.
saying F ICE.
I have
Democrats
never once received a polling call.
are saying F ICE. The only people that are saying we love ICE is like 58% of Republicans, which is kind of low, honestly, even for Republicans in general. So like, no, most people are looking at the situation and seeing the horror that you're all seeing.
Right, pepper balls. Beyond
'Cause they're
that, what
Hitler.
is the federal government's role in turning down the temperature?
You're
And the
losing
Minnesota
even
Department of
conservatives right
Corrections
now because
says
like
that its own officers have been cooperating with ICE all along, handing over criminals once they serve their
Yeah, the polls are
sentences
fake. I don't
to
believe
ICE
any
officials.
polls, dude.
Can you
$6,
concede?
I have actual evidence of them going door to door.
In the year 2027, the Nazi Party has once again risen to power.
Whoa,
Their reach has now
crazy
spread beyond Europe.
prediction.
America exists in a police state with the SS scavenging the land for their new prey. No longer are the Jews the target of their wrath. In the year 2027, the Nazis are hunting jerks.
Ooh.
Hey, face. Broke.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's poop water all over the floor.
I just unclogged that. What have you been eating?
I ate all those nachos in the kitchen.
Those were my nachos. I was saving those nachos.
Finders keepers, brah.
You know, I really wish that you would appreciate the risk that I'm taking here.
Too bad.
Look, if they find you, I'm gonna get in just as much trouble as you are, you know? And I don't want to come down on you. I like having you here. I wish you would respect my house.
Do you want some cheese with that wine?
I don't even know what that means.
Nazis!
Oh, it's the Nazis. Who? It's the guys that are coming.
Okay, I'm gonna
Get in the
crash
closet.
out from the censorship.
Please get in the closet.
Please get in the closet or we're gonna die. Thank you.
All right, but I'm only staying in there for 5 minutes tops. Your closet sucks.
Hello, we are your local Nazis. We apologize for the intrusion, but we received a tip that you are harboring jerks here.
You did? Really? No, guys, sorry, no jerks here.
Oh, I noticed that you have left some pornography out on your living room table.
Yeah, that's mine. That's my stuff.
This is not your run-of-the-mill pornography either. This is some very heavy stuff. Whips, lactation.
You know, in some of our research, we have found that jerks tend to leave their hardcore pornography laying all over the place.
Yeah, but see, I just didn't know that you guys were gonna be coming over, so that's why that's mine.
So, are you a jerk?
Am I a jerk? No. I'm not at all. I'm not. I'm your, I'm more like your meek, kind of shy pervert. And, right before you guys came over, I was getting ready to masturbate with that stuff.
Narvasi sent $3. I sent a screenshot of a poll I got over text into the group chat the other day.
You what? What did you just say? I sent a screenshot of a poll I got over text to the group chat the other day. Let me check it.
That there is some cooperation with the state.
Yeah, look, if
You're
I was to
wrong.
list the 5 agencies,
brother, you can say I'm wrong all day, every day, but the polling shows a different reality. Yeah, you got majority everywhere across the board saying that ICE's presence in communities is more harmful than helpful. Okay, you got the Emerson poll that just came out.
Wurzelroot, they actually did it. They sent me a survey that I'm not gonna complete because it's so fucking long and I'm bored, and I have other things to do. Whoa. You should have sent that to me, dude. You fucking asshole. I would have filled out your survey. Bruh.
Where 57%, the majority think ISIS presence in communities is more harmful than beneficial. Poll released 9 hours ago. But the poll I'm referencing is another recent poll that just came out where ISIS approval ratings are underwater as an agency with everyone, with the exception of Republicans. This is what I was actually trying to show you. ISIS net approval is -27 for all, with Democrats is -91%, which is why the Democratic Party not actually taking a more stringent approach, more strict approach to ICE and punishing ICE is insane to me, but expected because they're pussies. Independents at -41%. With black people, it's -71%. With Hispanic people, it's -41%, which, by the way, this will never not be funny. I'm sorry. Oh, my God. Like, that's why I laugh whenever you see, like, another federal agent being like, I'm a Black Panther Party member, and actually, ICE is not our deal. We don't care about ICE. It's like, you're not. You're a federal law enforcement officer that is undercover, that is presenting himself as a Black Panther person. You're not Black Panther Party material. Let's be real, okay? You can't even abide by the anger that black people feel towards this kind of federal incursion in every community in black and brown neighborhoods. You're just trying to do propaganda. Anyway, white people is at -15%, which is...
Yo, what the fuck does this mean, actually? Sorry, I'm a retard. What is the other percent? So 91% don't approve... Am I correct? So 91% of Democrats don't approve. Does that mean that 9% approve? But then that doesn't make sense with Hispanics and white people. Right. What how are we getting negative percentages here? Am I too fucking stupid, dude? Like what does this actually mean?
Expected, but even then, look at that, white people at -15%. That's crazy. This is the most reactionary subgroup in the country, and it's at -15% approval. Net disapproval overall, except for ding ding ding, Republicans at +58%. This is what I was
comparable to last month. I see.
Talking about. There is a very real fissure in this country where the overwhelming majority of this nation state is frustrated with Trump, is frustrated with their economic conditions not improving, is frustrated with what Trump is doing, all this like overseas.
Twice as many people no longer approve. I see. So they're fucking with the data to make it crazy.
Where they're like, why do I care about...
Dude, polls aren't real.
Greenland.
I don't give a fuck. Polls literally aren't real, dude.
Suck my dick. I don't care. Fix the prices, right? And then on top of that, when they see this kind of domestic maneuvering, when they see the federal law enforcement agencies like heavily militarized, federal law enforcement agents coming in and going door to door demanding to see people's papers, they go, what the fuck is happening? This sucks. This sucks so much dick, with the exception of Republicans. And the fact that only Republicans are at +58 approval for ICE
love it.
means that even Republicans are actually now saying enough is enough about ICE. Do you understand? You spoke with one of the 58% of Republicans just yesterday, the Bobs of the world? Yes. And with like 3 questions, even the most ultra MAGA guy like Bob was willing to concede on key issues like education, free education. Even though he was like resilient, even though he was resistant, he was understanding. He was open-minded to that, even with healthcare. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. And Bob is a unique figure. Bob is ultra MAGA.
We love Bob. We love Bob.
Yeah, he's the most MAGA, right? And a lot of you have a family member like Bob, and that's the reason why you think everyone is like Bob. Every MAGA person is like Bob. They are 20% of the country. 20% of the country, give or take, is like Bob. That's insane. That's insane. 20% of the country is in a cult. Okay.
We're colted. We're colted. We're colted. We're colted up, dude.
This is Allegra.